All right, here's why I make the big bucks. We are at Vinotopia, inside Cinetopia, with Rudyard Coltman. Rudyard, how are you?
Good.
Hey, tell me about this concept we have here at Vinotopia. It looks like you could try many different wines here.
Yes, we have over 110 wines that you can sample by the ounce, which is about 3 to 4 tastes. The uniqueness of this is that you could form opinions about many different wines in one evening.
All right, and you give classes here, so I want you to give us a quick 101 lesson on how to choose a wine. Let's say you're going out for a glass of wine, you're not going to have any food.
Sure. Without food, maybe you already have some opinions on what you like, whether it's a Cabernet, Merlot. That would be the first place to form an opinion. But if you don't have an opinion, generally light wines are how you start an evening. And also, it's usually how most novices begin. So when I say light, that's something that feels kind of light in your mouth, kind of like skim milk versus whole milk being a heavy-bodied wine.
Sure.
So, and those are usually found in the whites. So people normally start with maybe a Sauv Blanc or a Chardonnay, a little bit heavier bodied, but on the white scale. As the evening progresses, if you were to drink multiple wines, usually people start moving up the scale, and also in their experiences over time move up the scale to, say, a Pinot Noir, which is on the light side of the red wine spectrum, all the way up to, say, a Cabernet Sauvignon, which most people have heard of, which is a heavier wine. So you like to go in that direction throughout the evening if you're out dining and have the opportunity to have several glasses in one evening.
New world versus old world. I've heard that before.
Correct. And that's I think that's really important, because in determining what style you like, sometimes you can kind of draw the line on those along those categories. Old world wine is something from Europe. A new world wine is generally something from North America, but also includes Australia and South America as well. Old world wines tend to be a little more earth-drawn and a little less fruit-forward, so they have more earthy tones to them. They don't wallop you with a lot of big fruit in your mouth. It's you get more herbaceous type of flavors and characteristics. New World wines, in general, tend to be a little more fruit-forward. You know, have a lot more of the kind of jamminess to them, or more of the pronunciation of fruit. So that's one determination right off the bat. Do you like a more fruit-forward wine, or do you like something more earthy?
Which is sweet versus dry, and what do they mean by that?
Yeah, and that's very important, because there's a lot of misunderstanding about sweet versus dry. You know, a lot of people order a dry wine and don't always understand what they're getting. A dry wine can be fruit-forward. It can have a lot of, fruit in it, but it doesn't have much sweetness to it. Sugar, residual sugar. Sweet wines have a higher level of residual sugar. So a dessert wine, for instance, will have very high residual sugar. A German Riesling will have pretty high residual sugar. White wines often have a little bit higher than reds. But determining whether you like something, sweet versus dry is important. Whether you like something more fruit-forward, that's one thing you can ask a server. I'd like a more fruit-forward wine. Doesn't necessarily mean sweet, but it just means that there's going to be more jamminess to the wine.
All right, if you're going to have like appetizers, light food, what would you say?
Well,
back to the light?
Yeah, absolutely. As a general rule, when pairing food to wine, because that's the other consideration, you want to have light wines with light food. So if you're having a salad, you'd have like a light white wine, like a Sauv Blanc or a Pinot Gris.
Right.
And if you were having a steak, you'd want something more like a Cabernet Sauvignon. A big meaty wine goes well with a big piece of meat. Pinot Noir, which is obviously a very favorite regional wine, very popular, is a nice transitional wine, because you can have it with some regional favorites like salmon and fish. Not many red wines go well with fish, but salmon goes great with Pinot Noir, and Pinot Noir is a nice fish wine. Some soft, kind of medium-bodied wine goes well with some herbaceous things like mushrooms. Very, very nice pairing. And it's right in the middle body-wise, so you can have it with some nice white meat like chicken. It will go well with as well.
All right, Rudyard, thank you very much. Yeah. Love the Jungle Book, by the way. We're at Vinotopia, and you should check it out. It's absolutely one of the most beautiful settings here. I saw your outdoor setting as well, your fireplace. Thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you.
All right.